Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Game Over Winnipeg. My name is Brady. I will be your host here tonight on a night where the Winnipeg Jets, they win again. As I previously said, the Jets will never lose again, although tonight's game was a little bit different than the game we had the other night. We're going to dive into all that. We're going to talk all about it. We'll get right into it. Hopefully get some people here in the chat looking to see some familiar faces today. But before we get into all that, got to cover a couple things. First of all, our sponsor. Hey, the NHL season's heating up, and there's never been a better time to get in on the action. Whether you're looking to hammer an Austin Matthews anytime goal or ride the puck line with the Montreal Canadiens, our partners at Sign Up Expert want to make sure you're ready to sweat your bets with one of the best. Sign Up Expert is hooking up our listeners with one of the newest sportsbooks available in Canada, Betano. Betano is home to some of the best odds when it comes to betting on the NHL and offers unique markets including virtual soccer and basketball. All you have to do to get started is to scan the QR code on your screen or click the link in the description to register and place that first bet. If you thought the Vancouver Canucks have been the best surprise of the season so far, wait till you try Betano. Don't walk, run, to check out Betano today. Scan that QR code or hit up the link in the description to get started and start sweating your bets with the best. Always remember, please do bet responsibly and within your means. Viewers must be 19 plus to sign up for Betano. Cheers. Alrighty. Well, that covers the sponsor portion of the show. Hey, how's it going, guys? How are we feeling tonight? Seeing Baby Yoda in chat here. Good to see a couple others. Tonight, wow. The Winnipeg Jets, as I said previously, they win 3-2 against the Buffalo Sabres. Before we get into the game, we talked about that. Obviously, an important thing to mention. Tonight was the Winnipeg Jets Pride Night. Obviously, Pride Night has been a bit of a mess ever since the Ivan Provorov stuff happened last year. Obviously, this year the NHL made the decision to not allow any changes of jerseys between warm-up and the game, which essentially takes the Pride jerseys out of effect. Same thing with like military jerseys and stuff like that, even though teams like the Jets, for example, are going to skirt around or are going to still have a military night and a military jersey, which is kind of their Fly the 48, the RCAF inspired jerseys. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. The whole Pride stuff, I haven't really gotten the opportunity to talk about it here on the show. I was kind of waiting for Pride Night to speak about it. First of all, the jersey stuff was all really, really dumb. The NHL's reasoning for doing it obviously had to do with the conversation being centered around who's going to wear it, who's not going to, rather than the actual, celebration of inclusivity. But I thought within what was allowed, obviously, it seemed like the festivities were good in the arena. It seemed like they were doing some good stuff. They honored all these people right before the puck drop. When it comes to like the Pride tape stuff, again, we'll get into the game right away. Just we have to talk about this, of course. It was really, really insane to see how such a silly move by the NHL to ban the Pride tape. And I was very glad to see as soon as one person, not even, any star player, just Travis Dermott, put a little bit on the shaft of his stick. And the NHL was like, we can't give a guy consequences for putting a rainbow colored tape on his stick. So luckily they pulled that back. It was nice to see. It looks like there was 5 players on the Jets who were using the Pride tape during warmup. That was DeMello, Ehlers, Nino Niederreiter, and Morgan Barron. And Adam Lowry had some on the shaft of his stick. I just would love a player to use the Pride tape during the game. Again, I'm not going to give them shit. They're hockey players. I would hope that they would be better at trying to change the culture. As someone who grew up in the hockey culture, I can certainly confirm that homophobia is rampant in the hockey culture. So I would have liked to see a bit more of a push from the Jets, but it is what it is. Anyways, glad to see the Jets kept their Pride Night. I would have liked a little more advertising around it. They didn't pull any tweets out, about tonight being the Pride Night or anything like that, other than once they were in the warm up and they had the photos and they were able to, tweet that out. But anyways, I digress. It is what it is. Hoping for better moving forward. Hopefully we get some more pushback. Maybe some jerseys again, because beyond the whole inclusivity thing, there's some great jerseys. I've seen the Vancouver Canucks and I believe the Calgary Flames previously had made some absolutely beautiful jerseys. They reached out to members of the 2S LGBTQ plus community, and they got designers. So that is fantastic to be able to hire people in the community to contribute to a night that is very important to them. But anyways, like I said, we can now hop into the game again. We have to discuss it. But yeah, tonight was an interesting night for the Winnipeg Jets. A game where, let's be honest, guys, did the Jets deserve to win this game? Did the Jets just play a good 15 minutes of hockey in the second period, or did they really deserve this one? While I say that, it is important to note, excuse me, it is important to note that, I still think that there were some good things that the Jets did tonight. I thought that there were some important parts of their game that ended up working out, and some good things that we can take away from this win. The main thing is, and I got asked this at the end of the show last game, are we worried about Connor Hellebuyck? And tonight was a night where we can go, that's Connor Hellebuyck. That is the Connor Hellebuyck we signed up to see. And he was phenomenal tonight. The Jets do not win this game without Connor Hellebuyck. It was he single-handedly here's the thing. Big saves are obviously important. Being able to have a goalie who you can rely on to make saves that you're not necessarily expecting him to make is huge in this sport, obviously. But I want to just highlight the timeliness of some of these saves that he made tonight, because if you look into that second period there, we'll do the whole going through the game thing in a minute here, but I think that this game, just the standout guy to me easily had to be Connor Hellebuyck tonight. But like I said, if you go back to the second period, I mean, there were multiple times where once the Winnipeg Jets went on their little run of a couple goals there, obviously they get scored on, right after. But then Hellebuyck shows up, and despite not making, the save on the goal that ends up making the game 3-1, he made a couple really, really big saves right after that to kind of just bring the energy back down, to calm the team down. It felt like tonight was other than the first period, a very sporadic game, a very chaotic game. I got to hand it to the Buffalo Sabres. The way they played tonight, after the adversity they faced in the first half of the game, they turned it on. They absolutely turned it on. It felt like the Jets had so much trouble holding their blue line. The Sabres had no issue entering the zone. And once they were in the zone, they were able to cause chaos. But like I said, Connor Hellebuyck was there to slow everything down. There was, the JJ Peterka had multiple breakaways this game. And Connor Hellebuyck made 2 saves. I mean, he made the save on the one where he scored and he just got the rebound, went in. But he also, made a huge save on him earlier in the game. And again, that was right after the goal to take the momentum away from the Jets. So I really think that it's important to not only look at the saves that he made tonight. And again, we can talk about as many of the saves you want, whether it's a breakaway, the huge toe save that he made in the third period, and then almost immediately after he stops a breakaway, a big blocker save. Again, this is what you need for a goalie. This is what a Stanley Cup winning team, and I'm not going to say the Jets are going to be a Stanley Cup winning team or anything like that, but it's just one of the pieces that the Jets need. And for the rest of the season, it seems like everything has kind of been falling into place. Defense is still a little iffy, but as far as forwards go, the depth is good. We had some, the first line had their troubles for a couple games, and now they're firing on all cylinders as far as scoring points. The second line looks great after putting together Nikolai Ehlers with Vlad Nemeskov and Cole Perfetti. That third line, putting Nino Niederreiter down there, has been such a revelation to be able to rely on that line and basically just use them like a second line. Point is, the Jets are slowly, in comparison to like last year, for example, the Jets have figured out some of the things that they were bad at last year, which was their 5-on-5 play, as well as their power play is looking a lot better again now. So they're figuring all these things out in these games, and honestly, like regular season, obviously every game is worth the same amount, but these kind of middle games where you start to get a little bit into the season, obviously this can make or break your season, but at the same time it's important to at least go, okay, let's just say the Jets didn't win tonight. I would be able to come in here and go, hey, we still saw a great game from Connor Hellebuyck. We still saw some of the important things in regards to the depth for the forwards, the fact that even when the Jets excuse me, geez. Even when the Jets were, I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. Excuse me, one moment. Grab a sip of water. Check out the chat. Oh, excuse me. Okay, sorry. Now I remember what I was trying to say. Even when the Jets like depth wise, it felt like they were able to still continuously push and push and push. While they may not have strung together a great 60 minutes, I thought that they did really well in the times where they scored. I think it was the I want to say the third goal. Was the Ehlers goal? No, it was the one moment here. Sorry, guys. It was the second goal. We'll talk about this one right now. So this is the one where Scheifele's stick completely explodes in the middle of a really nice pass from Kyle Connor. Basically, the Jets end up losing possession here. The puck comes out. But what happens is during the second period, while they have the long change, the Jets are able to quickly regroup in the neutral zone. The forward line gets off, the first line gets off, and then the third line comes on, and they are continuing to put the pressure on. And that's what ends up happening when Mason Appleton ends up scoring his goal. They come back into the zone. Nino Niederreiter gets the puck on the left side of the ice, and Mason Appleton, who does exactly what he has to do in this moment, just crashes the net. Nino puts it right on his stick. Mason Appleton is essentially able to just skate the puck into the net. I don't even know if he shot it, because he was, he pretty much crashed into the net. And again, there was, on Twitter just the other day, Frankie Corrado, previous, ex-Leaf, ex-Penguin, and is now with TSN. He uploaded one of his little MacBook analysis kind of videos, highlighting how the Jets have been able to continually apply pressure to their opponents. And that was basically what happened on this goal here. The pressure that's created from the first line, they end up hemming them in. Again, the whole Scheifele thing, that his stick ends up snapping in half. The Jets don't let off. The first line gets off. The Jets are able to regroup in the neutral zone, and bada bing, bada boom, it's in the back of the net. So again, like I said, they're while in the grand scheme of this entire game, the Jets did not deserve to win, in my opinion. I think that if this is a game where, Tage Thompson is in the lineup, which also very funnily, if you saw the thumbnail for this video, I had Tage Thompson in it. Last game, I had Jack Hughes in the thumbnail that I made. I'm really hoping that I don't have some sort of injury curse, because I would never wish ill on even on any of the Jets opponents. I don't want anyone to ever get injured. So I really hope that Logan Cooley's able to play tomorrow night, because that's who I have in the thumbnail for that. So that'll be very funny, but it is what it is. But like I said, this was a game where I think the Jets ended up just getting a little bit lucky in regards to when they peaked as far as timing. That block in the middle of the second period, they just couldn't. The Sabres couldn't handle them. Like, for considering how bad, not bad necessarily, but how lackluster, we'll call it, the first period was, it was phenomenal to see the Jets come out and immediately have an effect on the game. Again, just kind of going back. I guess we can do the game recap, kind of go through it all if you guys want here. Glad to see some familiar names in chat with David here as well too. And Superior CD, I think I've seen you in here before, if I remember correctly. But yeah, like I said, toss a like on the stream. Shoot us a message in the chat. I would love to hear what you guys were thinking about tonight's game, because I think this one is a much more nuanced game. It wasn't just a game where the Jets played incredibly and things worked out. Where the Jets played incredibly and that was, the key to their success. This is a much more nuanced game. Going back to the first period, we can kind of start there. The Jets started off really, really sloppy. The second line ends up getting kind of hemmed in the zone. Logan Stanley, who is back in the lineup, I guess we can chat a little about him again. Takes maybe the worst line to a puck I've ever seen in my life. Everything was not going well for the Jets in the first period. I don't think that the Sabres really had it either, but they definitely looked better than the Jets in the first period. The only thing I really could see was that the Lowry line ended up getting a couple good shifts where they, kept that pressure on, which has kind of been a staple of that line. If they are going to be playing second line minutes, it's good to see that they can, provide some offense, both in, of course, Mason Appleton scoring the goal, as I said previously, but also with, Adam Lowry being able to, Adam Lowry's line being able to, not only stop chances against, but also put the play in the opponent's zone and wear down the other teams. Tonight, I will say, that line was banging and crashing a lot. I know it's kind of it's neither here nor there for certain people, but I think, obviously the games aren't played on the spreadsheet. So I think that does take a toll on a team, especially a team with the Sabres, who are a much younger team. I think that, making sure that they know that you're, if you have the puck, you're likely going to get hit, especially if Lowry's line's out there. Definitely at least puts the thought in their head. You got to look behind your back a little bit more as you're receiving a puck, just to make sure you're not going to get absolutely smoked. But going on through that, the Jets end up getting a penalty kill, and, they actually did pretty well. The special teams tonight was actually not too bad. I'm pretty sure they didn't allow any goals against on the power play. I don't think any of the goals were a power play goal. No, they weren't. And as far as they end up getting also a power play in that first period too, and it looked really, really static. It was really not that good. And then we get treated to the funniest surprise on power play 2. We have Brendan Dillon playing net front too, which is certainly an option. This kind of happens because Nate Schmidt was scratched tonight. The Jets ended up going with the standard 12 forwards and 6D rather than playing 7 and 11, because we kind of saw how that bit them in the ass a little bit last game when Kupari got injured. But yeah, Brendan Dillon just looks really, really funny on power play 2. Anyways, again, like I said, very boring period. The only other thing of note is, of course, KFC gets that breakaway chance where he tries to go 5-hole, which is a good shot. Comrie makes the right read, makes a big save, and the rebound pops out, and Kyle Connor is gotta say, millimeters away from knocking this puck into an open cage. But he misses the puck with kind of the toe of his stick. It was a little bit in tight. And all I can really say is it's the end of the period, man. If you stop up even a little bit, you get the second shot on that, and you absolutely score that goal. Like I said, it didn't end up mattering in the long run. The Jets did end up winning, of course. But going into, if you can put it, anytime you can score a goal right before the intermission, I don't know. I feel like that has just a psychological effect on the other team. You immediately get scored on. Everyone's kind of like, we've been playing hard, and we're down now. They go into the room. You guys sit there and think about it a little bit longer. I think it would have been nice. And also, it just in general, stop up, stay with the puck. Don't just, he kind of just swung, just kept his speed and swung out. So it is what it is. But like I said, first period, pretty boring. First half of it, the Jets were kind of bad. Second half, they were a little bit better. It is what it is. But hey, we start off the second period with our boy right up here, Cole Perfetti. This man, I talked about in the last game. I'm not going to go on a huge diatribe about him, but it's nice to see a little bit more. It's nice to see his skill set is evolving a lot more. I mean, it's not like he just, randomly decided that, okay, now I can shoot the puck kind of thing. But this goal was really, really good just on the fact that Cole Perfetti's not a guy who's really known for his shot. He's known for his vision. Again, when I think of him, I think of just like a younger Blake Wheeler who's left-handed, maybe a little bit less power forwardy and a little more skill heavy. And he shows it here on this shot. One thing I really just want to highlight, and why this goal that Cole Perfetti scores here, I think is a really great microcosm as to why this second line works out really well. One of the things that I've been noticing with them is that they're always like, what I think that the like unspoken, unappreciated thing that Vlad Nemestikov adds to that line is he's just reliable. And I think, people have kind of talked about it here and there, but on this goal right here, pretty simple. Like Neil Pionk ends up chipping the puck out. Excuse me. Gotta clear my throat. Neil Pionk ends up chipping the puck out, and Vlad Nemestikov corrals it, gloves it down with his hand, brings it into the offensive zone. And what does Cole Perfetti do? He gives him instant support. This is what I feel like this line does so well, is that there's always a guy and always an outlet that can be that is there supporting him. They're supporting each other. No matter what was happening here, Vlad Nemestikov had many different options. As he breaks into the zone, he immediately gets approached by two Sabres defenders, or skaters. Sorry, not necessarily defensemen. Vlad Nemestikov has multiple options here. He's got Nikolai Ehlers, who's streaking down the left side. He can very easily just rim this puck around, and Nikolai Ehlers can go into the corner and fetch that. He should be able to get there first, considering the speed that he carries. But also Cole Perfetti is in very close, very tight for support. And one of the hardest things to do in this league, or not necessarily the hardest things, but easily one of the easiest ways to stifle a team's offense is to not let them into your zone cleanly. And the Jets get a very clean entry here. As soon as it gets across the line, Vlad Nemestikov immediately has a player playing support in Cole Perfetti. He takes the open ice that is given to him. He's got Nikolai Ehlers on the left, maybe kind of faking for, Comrie has to obviously register that and understand that is a possibility. But Cole Perfetti just rips a shot, and it was a great shot. It was nice to see him get, again, like I said, getting a shooting goal. He had one last game where it was kind of a chippy off of another guy's stick and in. But hey, this guy's up to what, like 5 games straight with a goal. 10 game point streak, 9 game point streak, 9 points. I can't remember what it is. Maybe someone in the chat can give me a hand here. But man, like he has just provided, like, again, one of the biggest question marks going into this year was, are the Jets going to be able to replace the points that they had last year? And I know it's a silly thing. And we look back on Blake Wheeler and Pierre-Luc Dubois as maybe not always the most helpful players for this team, with Dubois kind of becoming a ghost every now and then, and Blake Wheeler kind of aging out of his prime. But regardless, those are two guys who scored got a lot of points last year, and it's just great to see that the Jets have found some sort of secondary scoring other than like the top line. Cole Perfetti has been key, instrumental in that, along with Nikolai Ehlers, who I don't really have a ton to say on him, but he looked good tonight. He was fast. His decision making was a lot better. It feels like he's been kind of dealing with maybe an injury all season. And so tonight again was a night where you can still look at Ehlers, and he gets maybe the funniest goal of all time with the third goal. Obviously, I already spoke about the Appleton goal, which is the 2-0 goal. The Jets go bang bang, of course. They let the goal. They let a goal in immediately after. But then, hey, on the tail end of a power play, right at the end, it finishes up. Nikolai Ehlers joked about how this was exactly how they drew it up. He just shoots the weirdest little floater on from the point, and you could tell everyone in the building, the broadcast, everyone was surprised to see the puck go in. But hey, Comrie didn't see it, and it's just a goal scorer's goal, I guess you could call it. But yeah, like I said, this is going back to just how this game could have gone either way. Like, again, that goal goes in. If the Sabres score on the many chances that they had, the toe save, which we'll get to in a moment, if they score on the multiple breakaways that Peterka has, obviously he scores on the second one, but this is a completely different game. Like, and even analytically, if you care about the numbers, like the Jets got smoked when it came to expected goals tonight. They had 2 expected goals to the Sabres 3.3. It is what it is, but again, got to be lucky to be good, got to be good to be lucky. And the Jets end up being pretty lucky tonight, and a lot of this goes to Connor Hellebuyck, as I said previously. One of the things also, the PK was good tonight, but I think that the most important PK player is your goalie. So anyways, let's move on. The second period ends up being like a good 10-15 minutes. It stinks that they allowed the goal right after the Appleton goal, but regardless, Jets come back, play hard, and great period. They all go to the locker room. I'm sitting on the couch. We're all enjoying it, going, hey, this is a good game. Jets are playing all right. The second period was great. Let's see how that third period goes. And what do the Jets do? They lose all momentum immediately. As I said before, JJ Peterka sneaks in behind Brendan Dillon. He gets hit with a beautiful pass, I want to say by Dahlin, where Zach Benson also assisted on the goal. Noted Winnipeg Ice legend. And yeah, that's just a terrible, terrible way to start the third. Because now, not only have you lost all momentum, but it's a 1-goal game now. And so, here's the thing. As I said before, it's important to win these games. It's important to win the regular season games, but I think it's also just as, if not more important, to make sure that the pieces are falling into place. And so when I saw the Sabres score that goal right there, I went, okay, all right, Jets, this is your test. You guys have been playing well. You guys have been good at 5v5. You guys have been managing this game all right, a little more chaotic than I would hope, but you guys are ahead. Hellebuyck, you're playing good. Make sure I can talk about you later tonight. And you know what? The Jets held on. They did. Tons of crazy shit happened in the third period. Dylan Samberg gets a puck to the back of his neck. Very, very happy to see that he is all right. But then we get to the perfect, the toe save that Connor Hellebuyck makes on the Sabres. I can't remember who was shooting. I want to say it was Peterka. I feel like Peterka was all over the place tonight. Him and Dahlin. Oh my God, Dahlin looks good. He makes just an insane save, and like I said before, he sticks with it. The Sabres not only does he make that save, he makes the next save, and that is what an elite goalie does. That's what a Stanley Cup contending goalie can do. So again, Connor Hellebuyck held them into this game. The Jets end up taking a penalty. They go on the PK again. They do great again. Once again, a great PK. This is the one where Dylan DeMello's stick also explodes. Lots of broken sticks tonight. And then we get treated to the humor of seeing Adam Lowry passing his stick over to him, where he ends up having to do to hold a stick that is significantly longer for a much bigger man. But also on top of that, the wrong hand. The puck ends up coming to him at one point. He's fumbling to get it out, trying. It goes up to Lowry, who apparently, like, in another life, he must have been a soccer player. I mean, he had the goal earlier in the season where he was kicking it up all the way up the boards. He gets handed Morrissey's stick from the bench, and then passes it off across to Appleton, who scores. In this game here, he makes just a nice little kick pass over to, I want to say it was Appleton again. They were on the PK. I can't remember. It was either him or Barron. And he just gets the puck out, which again, it probably wouldn't have gotten out had he not made that little kick over to a guy with a stick. So again, shout out to Adam Lowry, and his kicks that are saving the Jets. But continuing on, again, nothing really happens other than just, the game is super duper back and forth here. I was getting scared. I was a little bit worried the Jets might fumble this game. But they kept going. They kept playing. They kept their foot on the gas mostly until we basically get all the way to the end of the game when Zach Benson takes a shot at Josh Morrissey with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in the game. Zach, welcome to the league, buddy. That's the type of play that might get you benched. I'm joking, but he looks really good. I'm really happy to see he's working out in Buffalo so far. He's going to be a great player. But that's one where I think the coach is going to be giving you shit at the end of the game when you're down 1 goal and you take a penalty with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left. And it's not even like, hey, I was trying to stop a goal against. It was I just got upset after the whistle and wanted to give Josh Morrissey a shot to the face. But then the Jets end up just playing it easy on the PK or on the power play. Sorry. Until, the Sabres get the puck back. They end up pushing, and Nino Niederreiter blocks 2 shots on the final shift. And there you have it. The Winnipeg Jets win another game, and they improve to, I want to say, 5 wins in their last 6, I believe. Guys, this team's good. This team wins games. And it's a testament to the fact that tonight they won the game in a very, very different way that they've won their games previously. Looking back even to the Devils game, that game was a lot more of a track meet. Whereas tonight, again, a much tighter game, a much more chaotic game. And the Jets are able to squeak out of this one. Again, it wasn't all pretty, but there are things that we can look at as positives. The reemergence of Connor Hellebuyck. He looked great tonight. Nikolai Ehlers looks fast. Kyle Connor still looks like a magician, and I thought Mark Scheifele played all right too. Their lines, expected goals wise, were not great, and Cole Perfetti is continuing his streak. So truly, while this was not a perfect win, we can sit back and go, we saw some good things. Hopefully that they're gathering all their pieces to make a good run here. But yeah, that's the game. A little bit of, extra little, stuff to add to this game. First of all, congratulations to Eric Comrie and his wife. They are expecting a kid, likely tomorrow, I believe is the due date. As Comrie was a previous Jet, big ups to him. Very happy for him and his family. Hopefully all goes well on that front. I was expecting a dad strength revenge game, but luckily we didn't get that from Eric Comrie tonight. As I said previously, Logan Stanley once again getting in the lineup. You gotta wonder, is he getting showcased? You have to ask the question. Because looking at this team, the way the defense has been crafted, it doesn't seem like Logan Stanley is long for this team. Last year, he put in a trade request. I'm not sure if he rescinded it or not, but he certainly did request a trade. And as we are, I think it's 4 weeks out of 6 or 6 out of 8. Of Ville Henola's injury. We're getting closer and closer to his return and likely him taking a spot on this roster, potentially even in the top 6. and you have Declan Chisholm, who was sent to the AHL on a conditioning stint. You got to wonder, is there really room for Logan Stanley here? And so I would not be surprised if he was one of the players that the Jets use as some sort of bait or as a throw-in to some sort of trade to maybe bolster the blue line or get another scorer up front. Or if he's just a guy they get a pick for. But it seems like, in my opinion, he will end up being the odd one out, considering the fact that on a night where, Nate Schmidt was taken out of the lineup and there's an open spot on the power play, they put Brendan Dillon there. And I'm not saying that Logan Stanley necessarily should be a power play guy, but I probably would have put him there over Brendan Dillon. He's got I would say probably a harder shot. He shoots the puck a lot more. I think he's underratedly decent at passing. He's got an okay hands. He's decent on the breakout a little bit. He's just not your prototypical 6'7" defenseman. Did you guys know he was 6'7"? So anyways, you got to wonder if that's coming at some point. Other than that, little things to add. I'm gonna throw to the chat really quickly. Does anyone have any questions? I would love for you guys to huck them in the chat and let me know if you have some. I'll answer a couple of questions right before we do finish this off. And one little other update for Jets fans. Scary sights in for Rutger McGroarty. He got in his game tonight for Michigan. He got hit into the boards and he had to be stretchered off the ice and taken immediately to the emergency room. He's had a great start to the season. I was speaking with Scott Wheeler over last weekend while I was in Toronto for the Eric Lindros Celebrity Hockey Classic, and he was just singing Rutgers praises, saying how he's been working on his skating. He looks really, really good, and he thinks that the Jets likely do have a stud on their hands. So it is just good to see. It's good. It was great to see that he has been has had a great start to the season, but it is really scary to hear that he has been, like I said, brought to the emergency room after getting stretchered off the ice. So sending our thoughts out to him. I really hope he's all right. Hopefully it is just a scare and nothing more. But it is better to be safe than sorry. Alrighty, guys. I'm getting. I think I'm about to wrap this up here. One final opportunity to throw a question in the chat. If you are here, please do like the stream. We really appreciate it. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at NHL Chunky. Follow at SDPN Sports. Sorry, at SDPN Sports on Twitter. Subscribe, of course, to the channel here. We're almost at 100K. We are almost there, guys. Help us get there if you're not subbed already. We really would appreciate it. If you are listening to this on the audio after the fact, join us after the game. We're usually live pretty much immediately after the game, if not 5-10 minutes, depending on whatever's going on. But regardless here, guys, it looks like that will be it for me. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. I will be here tomorrow night when the Winnipeg Jets face off with the Arizona Coyotes. Should be an exciting game to see some of the youth over there. But anyways, like I said, have yourselves a wonderful night. Enjoy your Friday. Happy weekend if I don't see you guys tomorrow. And thanks for listening. See ya.